Heather, wait, may we begin?
What?
May we begin? What? Thank you, Heather.
You may begin.
It's a call to order. This is a public hearing of the Metropolitan Board of Zoning Appeals, Division 2. I am Craig E. Von Dalen, chairperson of Division 2. The other board members present are Beth Brandon, James Duke, and Joanna Taft. Legal counsel for the board today is Chris Steinmetz. Staff members present today from the Division of Planning are Eddie Onea, Principal Planner 2, Robert Eulenhake, Senior Planner Marlene Arihata, Senior Planner Genesis Hill, Associate Planner, and Heather Stephens, Senior Specialist and Secretary to the board. Matt Pleasant is the current planning administrator. The board has copies of the zoning ordinances that will be incorporated by reference into the record of each case heard today. The proceedings of this hearing are governed by the board's rules of procedure. The expedited cases will be heard immediately after all requests for continuances or withdrawals. As each non-expedited case is called, petitioners and remonstrators interested in that particular case will please stand. Those who intend to testify will please remain standing and be sworn. Petitioners should be on your left and remonstrators on your right as you face the board. Those who testify will state their name and address for the record before beginning to testify. Petitioners and persons appearing in support of the case being heard shall have a maximum of 15 minutes for the presentation of evidence, statements, and arguments in support of the petition. Remonstrators and persons appearing in opposition to the petition shall have a maximum of 15 minutes for the presentation of evidence, statements, and arguments in opposition to the petition. Staff will then present the administrator's comments regarding the petition. The petitioner will then be allowed 5 minutes for rebuttal and a summation of the case. Rebuttal must be limited to the subject matter of the initial presentations. Remonstrators will then be allowed 5 minutes for rebuttal of the petitioner's rebuttal evidence and a brief closing statement. No further evidence, statements, or arguments will be heard unless it is at the discretion of the board. Please limit your testimony and evidence to matters covered in the statutory requirements, which must be met in order for the board to grant a variance. If the petitioners have failed to comply with all notice requirements as stipulated by the board's rules of procedure, including posting of the notice sign on the subject property at least 23 days prior to the hearing, the board may continue the petition. Anyone at the hearing who thinks complete and proper notice has not been given and would like the petition continued due to lack of proper notice must bring this matter to the board's attention at the beginning of the hearing. The board may impose various conditions or commitments as amendments before reaching a decision on certain petitions. The installation of landscaping and screening, the paving of parking area, and the dedication of right-of-ways are examples. These conditions and commitments are an integral part of the board's decision and must be met for a granted variance to be valid. Compliance with conditions imposed by the board must be proved by an affidavit of compliance submitted by the petitioner within 30 days of completion. Unless otherwise specified, an improvement location permit must be obtained prior to the establishment of the authorized improvements. Failure to comply with any conditions or commitments of a variance grant is a violation enforceable by the Department of Business and Neighborhood Services. A person may file a written request to receive notice of the filing of a petition for judicial review of a decision of the board. The written request must be filed within 5 days of the board's decision and must include the person's full name and correct mailing address and a reference to the board's petition number. Forms are available and may be obtained from the board secretary. Please be advised that contacting members of the board regarding a matter pending before the board outside of this public hearing process is prohibited. Please note that there are only 4 members present today. Your request will need 3 votes to take action on a request. If an indecisive vote occurs, your petition will be automatically continued to the next hearing of the board. We will take this into consideration when hearing special requests. Please be courteous and orderly at all times, and please be sure all cell phone ringers are turned off. Is there anyone in the audience who has any questions about our procedures? If not, before we hear special requests, I'll ask for a waiver of our rules of procedure to allow the board to vote for all expedited petitions and adopt their findings of fact in a single vote, rather than by voting on each petition separately. Do I hear a motion to do so?
Duke, so moved.
I got a motion from Joanna first, sorry, James, and a second by?
Duke, second.
Thank you. I'll now ask for a vote. Duke.
Duke, yes.
Brandon.
Brandon, yes.
Taft. Yes. And I'm a yes. We'll consider special requests and continuances at this time. Yes, sir.
Good afternoon. My name is Brent Bennett with offices at 2414 East 72nd Street. I am the petitioner for case 2022 DV2-009. We are asking for a continuance to a 2-month continuance to the, I believe, July 12th hearing to allow us to get more time. We have to amend this petition and get some information from our client. And we originally thought a 1 month would do, but we realized that filing deadline for the documents is coming up this week, so it'll be a little wiser to go ahead and go for the 2-month continuance.
All right. Is that with or without notice?
With notice.
With notice. Okay. Is there anyone in the audience who has an interest in petition number 2022 DV2-009 with an address of 1635 South Sherman Drive? None being seen, we'll go to comments from staff.
Thank you, Chairperson Von Dalen and members of the board. Staff has no objection to the 2-month continuance. However, this is the final continuance that we would support. If they're not prepared for the July 12th hearing, staff will request that this petition be dismissed.
And that is with notice, correct?
That would be with notice, yes.
Very well. I entertain a motion to continue to our July 12th hearing with notice, petition number 2022 DV2-009. Do I hear a motion?
Brandon, so moved.
Thank you. And do I hear a second?
Duke, second.
Very well. And I will call the vote. Duke.
Duke, yes.
Brandon.
Brandon, yes.
Taft.
Taft, yes.
And I am a yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Good afternoon, Chairman Von Dalen, members of the board, Joe Calderon, 11 South Meridian, Indianapolis. I represent the petitioner, Kite Nora Plaza 2 LLC in 2022 DV2-011, 1340 East 86th Street. It's the third case on the continued portion of your docket today. We have presented this matter to Nora Northside. They submitted their letter of no objection. We have the staff recommendation for approval, and we are not aware of any other remonstrance. So with all of that in mind, if you can move this matter to the expedited portion of your docket, we would appreciate it.
Thank you, Mr. Calderon. Is there anyone in the audience with an interest in petition number 2022 DV2-011 with an address of 1340 East 86th Street? None being seen, we'll go to comments from staff. Sarah.
Thank you, Chairperson Von Dalen and members of the board. Staff is recommending approval of this request and therefore has no objection to it being placed on the expedited portion of the docket.
Very well. Entertain a motion to move to the expedited docket, case number 2022 DV2-011. Do I hear a motion? Taft's motion. Do I hear a second?
Brandon, second.
Thank you for the second, and I'll call the roll. Duke.
Duke, yes.
Brandon.
Brandon, yes.
Taft.
Taft, yes.
And I am a yes.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Excuse me, Chairperson Von Dalen, members of the board, David Kingen with offices at 618 East Market Street, here before you on 2 petitions, the one being the 3rd case under the continued petitions, the 4th petition under continued petitions, 2022 UV206, property at 6215 North Tacoma Avenue and 2620 East 62nd Street. We had filed a request to continue this petition for 2 months. This is our second request for continuance. However, we just recently met with the Neighborhood Association. We have reached out to one of the neighboring property owners and have asked to meet with him. And we also need some input from a drainage engineer, and we have not received that yet. Therefore, we would request that this be continued 2 months until your July 12th public hearing, and that would be without notice. Our client, Dr. Andrew Alexander, is also here present to answer any questions.
Very well. Is there anyone in the audience with an interest in petition number 2022 UV2-006 with addresses of 6215 North Tacoma Avenue and 2620 East 62nd Street?
I should note that we also did alert the one concerned party and the leadership of the Greater Allisonville Community Council that we had asked for the continuance request.
Okay, Mr. King, we'll go to comments from staff.
Thank you, Chairperson Von Dalen and members of the board.
Ms. Hill.
Staff has no objection to the continuance request to the June 12th hearing date. However, this would be the last continuance request that staff would support. This would require no new additional notice.
Without notice. Thank you.
This is July 12th was the request.
That is correct. July 12th is what we're continuing to. I will entertain a motion to continue to our July 12th hearing without additional notice, petition number 2022 UV2-006. Do I hear a motion?
Duke, so moved.
Thank you, Mr. Duke. Do I hear a second?
Brandon, second.
Thank you. And I'll call the roll. Duke.
Duke, yes.
Brandon.
Brandon, yes.
Taft. And I am also a yes. You're continued.
Thank you very much.
Welcome.
And then the second petition under new petitions, again, David Kingan with offices at 618 East Market Street, here in case 2022 UV2-007, property at 1259 West 29th Street. We did also meet with staff, but we owed them some additional information, and we've asked for this petition to be continued to your June 14th hearing, and that would be without notice unless additional notice is needed.
Very well. Is there anyone in the audience with an interest in petition number 2022 UV2-007 with an address of 1259 West 29th Street? None being seen, we'll go to comments from staff.
Thank you. Staff is supportive of this continuance request to the June 14th hearing date. This would not require any additional notice.
Thank you, Ms. Hill. I'll entertain a motion to continue to our June 14th hearing without additional notice, petition number 2022 UV2-007. Do I hear a motion?
Brandon, so moved.
Thank you, and a second.
Duke, second.
Thank you. I'll call the roll. Duke.
Duke, yes.
Brandon.
Brandon, yes.
Taft. And I am a yes.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Chairman Von Dillon, members of the board, my name is Mark Crouch, 124 East Pleasant Run Parkway, Indianapolis, Indiana. If I could draw your attention to 2022 DV2-013. Staff is recommending that we have unnecessarily added two requests for a 0.6-foot west side and a 3.7-foot east side setback because it's grandfathered. So if we're asking to withdraw that portion from our petition, and with that, have it moved to the expedited with staff approval.
All right. We acknowledge your withdrawal. Is there anyone else in the audience with a interest in petition number 2022 DV2-013 with an address of 1609 Fletcher Avenue? None being seen, we'll go to comments from staff.
Thank you, Chairperson Von Dalen, members of the board. With the amended petition, staff is recommending approval and has no objection to moving this to the expedited portion.
Very well, then I will entertain a motion to move to our expedited docket, petition number 2022 DV2-013. Do I hear a motion?
Brandon, so moved.
Thank you, and a second.
Duke, second.
Taft got in there before you.
Thank you.
Is
All right, I'll
board
call the
member
roll.
Taft's microphone on? Because I'm not hearing much of anything.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It is.
Thank you.
See, yeah, see. It wasn't just me.
All right, I'll call the roll. Duke.
Duke, yes.
Brandon.
Brandon, yes.
Taft.
Taft, yes.
Von Dalen is a yes.
Thank you.
We'll go to staff requests.
Thank you. Chairperson Von Dalen, members of the board, staff will draw your attention to petition 2021 DV1077A. This is the indecisive petition. The petitioner has notified staff that they wish to withdraw this petition. That would just require the board's acknowledgement.
We acknowledge the withdrawal.
Thank you. Staff will draw your attention to petition number 2022 UV2-009 located at 1251 West 96th Street. Automatic continuance request was filed by a registered neighborhood organization continuing this to the June 14th, 2022 hearing. This would just require the board's acknowledgement.
It is acknowledged.
Thank you. Also, staff will draw your attention to petition 2022 UV2-010 located at 2400 Roosevelt Avenue. A registered neighborhood organization has filed an automatic continuance continuing this petition to the June 14th, 2022 hearing as well, requiring the board's acknowledgement.
It is acknowledged.
Thank you. And finally, from me, staff will draw your attention to petition 2022 UV2-011 located at 1355 West 96th Street. An automatic continuance was filed by a registered neighborhood organization for this petition as well, continuing it to the June 14th, 2022 hearing. This would require your acknowledgement.
We acknowledge the continuance.
Thank you.
Chairperson Von Dalen and members of the board, staff will draw your attention to petition 2022-DV2-005, the first petition under the continued petition section, addressed at 1039 Kessler Boulevard East Drive. The petitioner requested to withdraw this petition, and this would require the board's acknowledgement.
It is acknowledged.
Staff will draw your attention again to the second page, the last petition under the new petitions on the docket. Sorry, my microphone's being weird. Petition 2022-UV2-012. A timely automatic continuance request was submitted by a registered neighborhood organization continuing this matter to the June 14th hearing, and that would require the board's acknowledgement.
Acknowledged.
Thank you.
That leaves us just with expedited petitions. So we will now proceed with the expedited docket. Heather? Would the petitioners or petitioners' representatives please step forward? In the interest of brevity, please state them. Pardon?
Shall I read them?
Yes, you shall. Go for it.
2022 DV2014, amended petition 5045 West Southport Road, Decatur Township, Council District 20, Zone DA. Kevin Wethington is requesting a variance of development standards of the Consolidated Zoning and Subdivision Ordinance to legally establish a 1.73 acre parcel with 211 feet of lot width, minimum 3 acres, 250 foot width required, and to provide for a detached accessory structure with a 15-foot east side setback, 30-foot side setback required. 2022 DV2015, 1207 Madeira Street, Center Township, Council District 21, Zone D5, Southeast Neighborhood Development Incorporated, requesting variance of development standards of the Consolidated Zoning and Subdivision Ordinance to provide for a single-family detached dwelling with 4-foot side yard setbacks, 5-foot setback required. 2022 DV2016, amended petition 2932 North New Jersey Street, Center Township, Council District 9, Zone D5, Full Circle Development 2, LLC, by Mark Buckingham, requesting variance of development standards of the Consolidated Zoning and Subdivision Ordinance to provide for a single-family detached dwelling with a 9-foot front setback along New Jersey Street, 10 feet required, 5-foot corner side setback along Trenton Street, 8 feet required, with a 5-foot rear setback, 20 feet required, within the clear sight triangle, not permitted, and with a front-loaded garage, not permitted. 2022 UV2008, 1061 East Southern Avenue, Center Township, Council District 21, Zone D5. The Umbrella Group, William W. Gooden, Elizabeth Bentz Williams, requesting variance of use of the Consolidated Zoning and Subdivision Ordinance to allow for an existing accessory parking lot to be utilized by an adjacent commercial use, not permitted. 2022 DV2011, 1340 East 86th Street, Washington Township, Council District 2, Zone C4, KRG Nora Plaza 2, LLC, by Joseph D. Calderon, requesting a variance of development standards of the Consolidated Zoning and Subdivision Ordinance to provide for a freestanding pylon sign located within 215 feet of an existing freestanding sign, 300 feet of separation required. 2022 DV2013, amended petition 1609 Fletcher Avenue, Center Township, Council District 17, Zone D5, AK Indy Investing, LLC, by Mark and Kim Crouch, requesting a variance of development standards of the Consolidated Zoning and Subdivision Ordinance to provide for a detached garage with 4-foot side setbacks, minimum 5-foot side setbacks required. Is there anyone here today in opposition to any of these petitions I've just read into the record? Mr. Von Dalen, that is the end of the expedited docket.
Sorry.
We wouldn't necessarily be giving any testimony. You could go to vote now. Sorry, I've given you a modified introduction or script that doesn't meet stuff and things.
I really enjoy reading the scripts. Do you mind if I read it?
I would love for you to read it. Would you please read it, Mr. Von Dalen?
With petitioners or petitioners' representatives, please step forward. In the interest of brevity, please state the request, incorporated findings of fact, and filed information by reference, and indicate for the record agreement or disagreement with the conditions in the written staff report. No other presentations is necessary unless questions are asked. You may all step forward if you'd like. Does the staff have any, with all the requests asked, is there anyone in the audience with an interest in any of these requests that have not stated so prior to us beginning? I don't see any. Does the staff have any information or comments to add in addition to the written staff report? I don't hear any, so we may go ahead and cast our ballots.
Mr. Chair, I just want to mention, just for the record, that I'm recusing myself, and I'll indicate it on the ballot for 2022 DV2016.
Very well, thank you.
Sorry for the awkward pause, everyone. For petitions on the expedited docket, 2022 DV2014, 2022 DV2015, 2022 UV2008, 2022 DV2011, 2022 DV2013. 4 votes cast, 4 yes votes. All of those petitions are approved. 2022 DV2016, 3 votes cast with Board Member Taft recusing, 3 yes votes. That petition is also approved, and everyone with no additional business with the board is free to go at this time.
Do we have any additional business today, Madam Secretary?
I do not, sir, other than the findings of fact for all the approved petitions today can be adopted, and I will bring them around to you presently.
Very well, then we are adjourned.